You ready?
Ready for what? Something that'll really hit the spot.
Always quick with a joke or to light up your smoke.
It's fun and educational.
Welcome to Coffee Talk, a joint production between 3WV and Higher Education. Hello. Welcome back to Coffee Talk. I'm Dawn with Higher Education, and I'm here with Seth. Hello, Seth.
Hello.
And Ashley D. Hello, Ashley.
Hello.
We're bringing you a little more Coffee Talk. So what exactly is Coffee Talk? We're a little silly, but we're a lot of education. And we just wanted to bring this podcast to everyone to help people learn things that they wouldn't otherwise know. So we are starting to put this on our YouTube channel as well. So you'll be able to find all of our podcasts on YouTube, where you can leave messages and comments for us if you have any ideas about future content you'd like to hear or see. I guess you can't see it because we're a podcast, but you could hear it. If you have any questions about things we've said, if you're happen to be a glassblower or somebody in the industry and you want to be on our show, you could probably contact us there just as well. So if you have any questions for us, please feel free. We appreciate you listening. We've been on now for almost 3 months.
And we want to continue the education.
Absolutely. You know, I know we've been back and forth and done a bunch of different things since the beginning, but we're beginning to get this dialed in. And I think we kind of like the way that we're headed with this. It takes a minute to figure out, who we are and how we were going to do this podcast, but I think we're doing a pretty good job now.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's getting really good. I find that the shows are more entertaining. I feel like we're, as a group, a little bit more together and enjoying each other's company. And our guests are informative, and I love these interviews.
I like the guests. And, you know what? I don't like to compliment Dawn very often. She seems to be.
Her ego is going to get huge.
I know.
You better be careful.
She seems pretty knowledgeable, so it always impresses me the facts that she throws out. And Seth too. They're very I don't even know the word. You're just
fun.
That's not it. That's not what I'm like. You're very knowledgeable, so it's good to be able to get that out to the public. So.
This is a lot of fun, and I was really nervous about doing this podcast. In fact, I didn't want to do it. Ashley asked me to do this probably a year before we agreed to do it, and she had this great idea, and as far as I'm concerned, this was all Ashley's idea, and I was like, hell no, get the fuck away from me. But she beat me down, she so does, and she just kept beating it into me. You need to do this. And at some point, I don't know what happened, and this little switch inside of me went, yes, it's time for me to be a podcaster. And here we are. And I was scared. I didn't even want to do it at first. And then our first couple episodes, I think I felt like I was cringing and almost hiding. And now I'm like, yay, welcome to me show.
Well, everyone's usually critical of themselves and their own voice. And I think that probably was your hesitation. Although you have a great voice, and I think you know that. So I think that was what won you over, was that I was like, you have a great voice. You would be so good doing this on a regular basis. So
when I first heard about Coffee Talk, you said, oh yeah, they want me to do a podcast. They want you, Dawn, to do a podcast. And you talked about how you were going to do this, and hang out with the DJs, and you were going to talk to them. And then suddenly I was there too. I don't even know how this happened. I was pretty sure that I was not included, and that was perfectly fine with me, actually.
But it wouldn't have made sense without you. So,
right.
But you weren't. It wasn't discussed with you, is your point. She decided on her own that she was doing this, and that.
And that I was also doing this.
Oh, wait, I'd like to interject there, because I don't really think that's how it went.
No, that's exactly how it went.
Actually, what I remember is, Ashley bringing this fabulous idea to our attention, and she came up with this great idea. She came up with a great name, Coffee Talk, and was like, oh, come on, you guys want to do this? And we were like, okay, maybe. I mean, it's a good idea, and Seth went, it's a great idea, and we need to do it. Dawn, you should do it. You should do it, Dawn. Dawn. You should do it, Dawn. You should do it, Dawn. You should do it, Dawn. You should do it.
Because I knew you would enjoy it, and you would be good at it. So I was right.
So I agreed to do it, and I assumed that if I was doing it, we were all doing it, and here we we all are. See,
you know what happens when you assume.
Yes, we all do it together.
I know that joke, but I'll let you finish it.
Yeah, everybody already knows that. I don't even have to say it. She knows it too.
But,
and yet here I am.
Yes, but that's the cool part, because now, this is no fake bullshit anymore. We're just real people, real talk, real smoke, and real coughing. See? Coffee talk. I love it.
And we need your input, so.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would get a little too crazy around here. We need a little bit of that, calm you down kind of,
I feel like that's an insult.
You need an indica for the sativa.
I think that's me.
Exactly. So we're really lucky. Again, we're going to have another guest on today because people have been really kind to us and keep, being willing to talk to us about all these fabulous things.
Wait, we aren't going to talk about the awesome dress that I just got from Higher Education.
Oh, shit. Oh my God, Ashley, that dress is gorgeous. Where did you get that?
I got it at this great shop called Higher Education.
OMG. They have cool dresses too, not just a fabulous water pipes, hand pipes, and more.
I like that I can take other people in your shop that don't necessarily smoke and they can browse around and find cool things there too.
For sure.
So,
Yeah, I think that's kind of the neat thing. We have so many people who bring their kids in or their parents and kids who bring their parents in and they're like, oh my God, my mom's not really a smoker. However, she was really excited about the CBD gummies or the tapestries.
Yeah, or the incense.
Or the incense, we have like one of the best selections of incense in the entire area. And it's all hand dipped, hypoallergenic, really nice incense.
Yeah,
and the tapestries are super cool too.
In the past, like that's Tawny too from 3WV.
Yeah.
Remember she likes coming in and shopping when we used to do broadcast there.
Yeah. I miss seeing Tawny in there. But she wears really nice heels, so the dresses really complement her sexy boots. She has really awesome shoes. Her feet are a little bigger than mine, though. I already checked, so there won't be any shoe change sharing. Yeah.
That's gross anyway. I've never shared my shoes with others. That's gross.
I've never shared shoes either.
Yeah, no,
Yeah. But, I can dream about it.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, the dresses are awesome. So,
yes, with spring, there's all these new wonderful spring dresses. So come on down and get you one before they're all sold out. Higher Education, 3W. Oh, that's not right.
619.
Higher Education, 619 West Main Street, Charlottesville, Virginia, or Richmond, 2307 West Main Street.
Cary. 2307 West Cary in Richmond.
I'm not really sure where we're at. So I think that's on Google Maps, though. So you guys could probably just put it in the Google Map and you'll figure out where the higher educations are. I'm not sure. So we're lucky enough to have Josh from Empire Wellness. He sells CBD as well as Delta 8. We'll have a later podcast about Delta 8. But for today, we'll be talking about CBD, some of the finest American-grown CBD in the country. Empire Wellness with Josh. We'll be back after these messages.
Smoke some during the break.
Yep, let's go smoke some of that.
Let's go.
Talk to you soon.
CBD.
We will help you with your anxiety. We'll pick you up when you're feeling low. And nothing costs a pocket full of dough. Relax your body, free your mind. Higher Ed is the place to find.
CBD.
Let us help you with your anxiety.
Now offering curbside pickup and shipping direct to your door. Just call to place your order at 434-293-PUFF. Higher Education, Charlottesville's CBD superstore since 2017, providing high-quality CBD and education about all its amazing benefits. Higher Education, because CBD is a lifestyle, not just a greener trend. Be careful and smoke at home. And remember, share the experience, not the pipe.
Higher Education is still open, so come in.
Best prices, best selection, most knowledgeable. Higher Education, Charlottesville CBD headquarters. Welcome back to Coffee Talk, a joint production with Higher Education and 3WV. We're lucky enough to have Josh with us today. Welcome, Josh. Thank you so much for coming and talking to us about your wealth of knowledge. You're the owner of Empire Wellness?
Yes, I am. I am the owner of Empire Wellness.
Awesome. And how did you get into this industry?
I was back in 2012. I was actually in the cannabis industry in California, and one of my buddies came to me and said, "Hey, CBD is amazing. We should start cultivating it." So I was like, "Hey, does it get you high?" He's like, "No, it actually doesn't." And I'm like, seems a little weird. And then we started cultivating it, and one thing led into another, and we realized the amazing benefits it has, and now, we're just selling tons of it and healing tons of people.
Absolutely. It's really fantastic. I know us at Higher Education have been carrying your, raw flower or bud for a few years now, since the beginning for us in this state. And you have a lot of really fantastic strains, and they have different abilities to help people in different ways, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. We have many strains, especially now we have our Delta 8 flower that we infuse with terpenes. So that definitely helps with the entourage effect. So yeah, we're just doing different things, to get the flavors down, and that way, everybody could try a little bit of everything with variety.
At Higher Ed, we carry quite a few of the strains, and we have a Fiasco. It's one of them.
Yeah.
There's can you tell us a little bit about Fiasco?
Fiasco, okay, yeah. It's a strain. It was one of our strains that we probably released, I would say, 8 months ago, approximately. It's a really relaxing strain. What we've been told is it's great for inflammation. A lot of people are telling us they're having great success with that strain. So usually by now, actually, we would switch the strains. But with Fiasco, it's one of ours that we're still going to remain selling even as we sell our popular Delta 8 flower.
And the Fiasco, I believe, has like 21% CBD content?
Yeah, it ranges between 20 to like 24, depending on the batch that we test.
That's awesome.
I think in my experience with your stuff at Higher Education, I think Coughy is probably our most popular one.
Really?
Yeah, people seem to love that one.
Coughy is definitely a favorite. I know, and it has 21% CBD content, it says.
Yeah, all of our CBD flower that we try to carry, we try to have super high in CBD. Some strains that we do carry are a little on the lower side, but those strains are mainly bred for flavor. So yeah, Coughy. It's interesting that you said Coughy is one of your popular strains. I think that's really interesting. Usually Fiasco is what is popular, but hey.
Yeah,
going,
Fiasco,
right?
I guess, is pretty new for us at Higher Education, and maybe it just hasn't had a chance to catch on like the Coughy had.
Yeah, Coughy has been definitely one of our favorite. Can you tell us what Coughy is known for or most helpful with?
Yeah, Coughy, what we've been told is really good for PTSD, anxiety, stress. It's super relaxing. It's a hybrid strain, actually. So, that's what we've been told it works really good for. Personally, myself, I like to do a mixture of the Coughy Fiasco together. I feel like you get the best of both worlds. But yeah, as far as that goes, it's a really nice strain.
That's awesome. I know another one that's very popular for us is the Monroe.
Monroe, really interesting. Yeah, that's a really good strain too.
That smells really good.
Fantastic, absolutely.
Amazing aroma.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a sweet aroma.
And that one has a little bit less of the CBD, but still very high, 20%.
Yeah, exactly. Just like you were saying, as far as the aroma, that strain was mainly bred for aroma, but the CBD content, which is good too, is we got it up pretty high on that one. Usually, when we're breeding for aroma, it's a little hard to get that CBD up there and over 20%. So we're excited about that one. Have you guys tried any of our Delta 8 flowers?
We have. I think we just started that.
Yeah, that one's also fairly new for us, but we've been
Really?
selling some of the Delta 8 for a little while.
Awesome. Yeah, Delta 8 is getting really popular with our Delta 8 flowers. We have some really nice strains right now.
So as a bystander, Ashley Dirty here coming in to ask a question. So when you're saying that it has like 21%, as someone that's not as familiar with CBD, what does that mean? Like, is that...
We're talking about 21% CBD content.
Yeah,
so,
but like what is the highest? Like what's good and what's bad? Like just someone, coming in.
Okay, perfect question. So just to answer that, so our last strains before this, we had strains, and those strains were like 15%, 10%. So as time goes on, we're getting better at breeding these strains and crossing genetics and making the CBD content over 20%. So for us, we think anything over 20% is amazing. We're trying to get to the 30% threshold, but it's just really hard because with CBD, we have to breed out. When we raise numbers with CBD, here comes the THC numbers also. So we have to, in a sense, breed out the THC, but breed up the CBD, if that makes sense.
Is there like a limit, like is a legal limit or something like that? Is there a limit that you can't go over, or you can just keep trying to progress?
Yeah, like as far as THC, we can't go over 0.3. But as far as CBD, there's no legal limit as far as how high we can go with CBD.
With laws changing in legal states, does that mean you can sell CBD that has higher THC content? And do you sell that?
We do not. It's something we're not dabbling in at the moment. But yeah, I've seen some places, they're making laws as high as 1%. It's just something, because right now we're in over 4,000 shops. So, we like to cater to all 50 states. Some states we can't sell our Delta 8 flower to, obviously. But with CBD, we like to keep it so we can sell it to all 50 states. So we don't want to eliminate, a certain demographic.
Makes sense. Absolutely. Absolutely. I know there's a few more flavors that we carry of your product, and I'd love to continue talking about their differences and what they're really good for. So how about Buttercup? That's a fairly new one for us. It has 19%, very new, but the smell was really fantastic. Can you tell me a little more about it?
Yeah, Buttercup, it's a really nice strain. We've been working on that for about a year, to be honest with you. I wish we can get the CBD up on it and still maintain the smell. However, people are really liking the smell, the look of it, especially this year's batch is very fresh. We just harvested. We harvest usually about 4 times a year. So yeah, right now our Buttercup is really amazing, fresh, green, really stinky. We're getting really good feedback with that one also.
What are people primarily using that one for? Do you know?
It's all over the place, especially with CBD. I hear people tell me, "Hey, I had great experience with this for my arthritis. I had great experience with this for my anxiety." So it just all depends on everybody. And to be honest with you, these CBD percentages are so close, right? So like 17% to 21%. At the end of the day, it's a higher percent, but some people rather choose the flavor over the percent, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So
it's
just all preference,
That makes a lot of sense. It seems like they're all right around 20. I think the lowest one we have in the store might be like 16-ish% Fiona. So that might be the lowest one we have. And then and Lemon Drop is one of the lower ones. But people love Lemon Drop, even though it is one of the lower percentages.
Lemon Drop was one of our original strains. We were actually the first to come up with it, and now you see Lemon Drop out there. But yeah, it's lower in CBD. However, I want to mention, right, about these CBD strains, as far as variations besides CBD, there's other cannabinoids in these flowers also that distinguish them from each another. So some of these cannabinoids, CBG, CBDA, different forms of THC and low levels that, all come together for that entourage effect.
Absolutely. I think I read is it like 144 cannabinoids in the hemp plant?
Yeah, it's around there. They're honestly, scientists are finding more and more, to be honest with you.
New ones every day.
We're learning about now that the new thing is where they're going into Delta 10, Delta 8 is new. Now they're going to go into Delta 10. So scientists are just evolving the cannabis industry. In the upcoming years, you're going to see tons of cannabinoids we didn't know about and tons of benefits that these cannabinoids produce.
It's awesome. It's awesome to see more research going on there.
I have a question, Josh. How do you get those ideal situations in your CBD plants? Taste and high cannabinoid percentages, and obviously you're looking for bigger and better and low THC. How does that happen?
Yeah, so we constantly cross different strains, and with crossing these strains in the process, we see which strains go over the legal limit, which strains are under the legal limit. We cross with strains that have a very nice profile of terpenoids, so you can get that flavor, taste, and smell. So it's just a mixture of things. So necessarily, we can't just take any strain and cross it with hemp flower and be like, hey, look, it's legal, because it wouldn't work like that. So it gets really technical as far as breeding out the THC, breeding up the CBD, and at the same time maintaining a high terpenoid profile, right? So it's just a mixture, to be honest with you, of different strains. And some strains like our AC/DC, we constantly use that strain to cross with new strains because it's a very stable strain. So we like to stick with stable strains to crossbreed with. And that's basically how we do it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And as with CBD, I'm assuming just like with marijuana, there's sativas and indica dominant strains.
Yeah, there definitely is. Obviously it's CBD flower, but as far as, indica and sativa, there definitely is. Some strains will make you, more of that couch lock, that indica feeling, but without obviously the psychoactive effect. So it depends who you ask, right? Like some people will be like, how is this an indica, but I don't feel a couch lock and I don't feel, tired or anything like that. It's because it's super low in THC, right? So as far as when we say indica or sativa, it's just a variation of things like, did the original strain, was it an indica or sativa, right? The terpenoid profile that we have on this. Most of these plants are hybrids, to be completely honest with you. Some are a little more sativas than indicas or vice versa.
That makes sense. In time, everything's going to be very hybridish. If, someone were to say this CBD flower is sativa leaning hybrid, I guess, a sativa leaning hybrid, would I expect to have more energy?
That's really hard to say because some people infuse with terpenes, so they're considering terpenes to distinguish if it's an indica or sativa. So, for instance, if they're infusing with something like Pineapple Express, like, oh, it's a hybrid or, oh, it's a sativa. But at the end of the day, the terpenoid profile was a sativa, but is the actual plant, right? It goes down to is the DNA of the plant a sativa and how much of a sativa is it really? And to answer your question, yes, if it's a sativa, you'll definitely feel more energetic than smoking indica hemp because it goes back to the original roots of the DNA. So as far as our company and my company, if I consider an indica, it's because the original roots were from an indica plant.
Awesome. So could you tell us of your CBD strains, which one of them would be more indica and which ones are more sativa?
Yeah, so as far as our Fiasco, that's a hybrid. It's more of a sativa than indica. Most of our strains are hybrid, but our God's Breath, that's actually a sativa. I don't know if you guys had that strain yet.
We have had that.
Yeah, we have.
Since we're talking about God's Rest real quick, I don't mean to get you off track, but could you tell me a little bit about that one? That one's like a 16%. And what is that one known for? Is that one more of an aroma or a function?
To tell you the truth, it's a little bit of both with that one. We were hoping to get the smell a little better on that one, but we couldn't. So it's mainly a function. What we like about that one is the terpenoid profile. It has a very nice terpenoid profile, and as we all know, terpenoids have a major benefit themselves as far as therapeutic-wise. So some of these, when we have plants that we have where the CBD is under 20%, we're mainly focusing on the terpenoid profile because, it's interesting. Like with these, like I said, terpenes have a huge benefit, and a lot of people don't know that. So some of these strains, we do a combination between high terpenes and high CBD. So God's Breath is one of my personal favorites because of that, even though the CBD content's a little low on it.
Hey, Josh, would you mind discussing briefly those terpenoid benefits just for those listeners that might not know?
Oh, yeah. Mainly, as far as therapeutic benefits would be relaxation, anti-anxiety. It's been shown for inflammation, all the chronic pain. There's all types of stuff that's been shown, that terpenoids have been shown to have benefits with. And terpenoids basically the essential oils of the cannabis plant. For people that don't know, it's the smell and taste of the cannabis plant is what terpenes is. So,
and that's just an additional benefit to the cannabinoids that are already there?
Yeah, exactly. The entourage effect basically is when other cannabinoids come together for one benefit, right? So we figure the higher the terpenes, the higher the CBD, the higher the CBG, the higher the THCA, or so on, right? We can produce that entourage effect, and some strains will work different as far as have been shown to work different as far as treating different types of illnesses that people have. That's
fantastic. It's like the sum is greater than the individual parts.
Right.
Yeah. So like a lot of people, like it goes back to what you're saying. They're like, let's look at the CBD content. Like if you go back to our older flower, you mentioned strains like Lemon Drop, And we've had a few other strains. I can't really think of them off the top of my head. We had
Green
so many.
gum.
Green gum, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
One of our strains we had. Yeah, like those strains were lower in CBD, so like we've come a long way as far as with breeding wise. However, our old strains like Lemon Drop was very popular because of the smell, right? It had that like citrusy lemon smell. So a lot that Lemon Drop, the original Lemon Drop, is actually crossed into a lot of our new stuff to get that terpenoid profile.
Right.
Oh, neat. So on that note, we're going to take a break, little smoke break. We'll come back and we'll talk about a few more strands of CBD. We're going to take that smoke break and we'll head out with Josh, and we'll be back after these messages.
I'm here to share my journey just for you. It all started out with the higher ed crew. Down on West Main, I was hanging with a friend when we saw the higher ed sign down around the bend. My boys said, let's check it. It could be a banging shop. When we walked into the store, man, it made my jaw drop. There were tubes and handpipes, rigs and more. They even have a water pipe as tall as the door. Gas masks, rollers, papers made of rice. Sure-ish, bitch, it was a smoker's paradise. My jaw dropped, my eyes popped. Boy, I was feeling. Then the friendly shop, he said, yo, hey, how you feeling? I said, wow, this your shop. It's really, really great. I just stumbled in, yo, man. It must be fit. You got the packs, volcano, and even the kind. Man, you know the taste can be real hard to find. You got Roar, Pulsar, and Sheldon Black. Damn, you know I'm definitely coming back. This place is cool, dope, and really nice. That's why higher education is the smoker's paradise.
Now offering curbside pickup and shipping direct to your door. Higher Education, Charlottesville's CBD superstore since 2017, providing high-quality CBD and education about all its amazing benefits. Higher Education, because CBD is a lifestyle, not just a greener trend. Welcome back. Hope everyone had a good smoke break. It's Coffee Talk. I'm Dawn. Seth and Ashley Dirty in the studio, and we have Josh with Empire Wellness is with us talking to us about CBD. This has been really informative. All these strands are pretty, I guess, almost overwhelming. I know when you come into higher education, we have some ridiculous amount of jars up there, and now we wear masks, and that's really fun to try to smell things with masks on. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's neat. We're in Virginia. Virginia is not a legal state, so it's almost like a little mini version of a dispensary. People come in and get so excited. It reminds them of something they saw out west, but on a slightly more moderate version. And it's a lot of fun. And I know that we have a lot of customers who come in and who don't have any desire to smoke anything else. They don't want a head change. They really love CBD. It helps them with anxiety, inflammation. Some people, I think, enjoy it because they quit smoking cigarettes. I personally used it to quit smoking cigarettes maybe a year and a half ago. I have a serious oral fixation apparently, and I needed to do something, and I ended up rolling my own cigarettes, and I just rolled them and smoked them everywhere. It was a little stinky, but eventually I broke the habit, and I think it cuts the edge off while you're dealing with that nicotine addiction, and then eventually you can get rid of it. So that's another fantastic benefit of CBD. There's so many varieties. You could just keep trying different ones, and it's fantastic and experimental. And I know that we've already talked about God's Breath a little bit, and we talked a little bit about Fiasco. Both of those are sativas. Can you name any other of the ones that you carry that are sativas?
Right now we got a lot of stuff that we're introducing as far as other strains that we're about to bring as far as CBD. As far as sativa-wise, we can go back to our older strains, which would be, a green gum, which would be sativa. I know we were mentioning green gum. That would be one of our sativas, and we actually like to use the roots and the base of green gum to cross with our other strains so we can get that hybrid effect, because that strain specifically is mainly sativa dominant.
Awesome. And how about like Pink Panther?
Oh, Pink Panther. Wonder if you like our original strains? Oh, yeah. Pink Panther is a very nice product. That's a hybrid also. More on the sativa side, but definitely a hybrid.
So that one would give me a little more energy.
I don't know if you guys had our Buttercup. Did we mention that?
Oh, we did a little bit. Buttercup has 19%.
Yeah, but it's a heavy sativa, super high in sativa. The roots go back to the green gum, and it's a very nice terpenoid profile, and it's one of ours that's going to stay on the shelf for a while, actually, because we like to change up strains. We like to constantly improve the strains. At the same time, it's some strains we like to keep around because we don't like to eliminate them, because people have really good things to say about the strains and are very work very well for their certain types of stuff that they're using them for. So we like to keep some stuff around. We don't like to change them too much. However, we do use the DNA of a lot of our old strains and incorporate it into our new strain.
That's awesome. So you could bring a little bit of old to new, I guess.
It goes back to what you're saying, right? Like you're like, hey, look, CBDs help me get off cigarettes, right? Like, okay, but what strain? I'm sure you had a strain that was specifically worked maybe better than other strains, maybe that you stuck with. I'm not sure, but like, so if we just completely took that strain away from you, you'd be like, whoa, this
Absolutely.
is crazy.
I know that happens with our customers too. I mean,
Yep.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but one of the strains disappeared, and it took a little finagling to convince some customers that they were okay with some of the new ones because they found the love, and it's hard to want to try new things. All of us are guilty of that. We like ruts. Ruts are fun.
And some of the strains are very finicky, right? Like, so when we do remove them, it's because we can't really cross them, because sometimes if we cross them, we're over the legal limit of THC, right? So a lot of people don't understand that. It's like, hey, why'd you remove this strain? I really like that strain. It's like, look, we have to improve at some point. We can't, have CBD that just remains at 12% and then everything out there is in the 20s, right?
Sure.
So if we cross a strain that's already kind of on the almost illegal side with another strain that's almost on the illegal side, we're going to be over the legal limit. So some strains just don't cross good,
So I have a question. So when you cross two of these strains and it goes over the legal limit and you can't sell it, what happens to that stuff?
Okay, that's a good question. So when we're crossing these strains, we're either crossing them in Oregon or Colorado. So
you didn't want to send them to me just to dispose of for you? I mean, I have a dump site that I'd be happy to get rid of it for you, and I wouldn't tell anybody.
Don't call me that.
Don't call me that. Yeah, stack it all up, right? But when they're over the legal limit, it kind of sucks too, because when they're over the legal limit, it's not even by much, right? So even though we are disposing of the material that's over the legal limit, it's like we're talking fractions of points, which it really sucks, because some of the stuff we come up with is super beneficial, right? So that goes back to what you're saying, like. Some states who are at the 1% rule or going into that 1% rule, it'd be a great strain for them. But, we're hoping on our end, we just have federal legalization soon. So everybody, we can, have no cap on any THC levels, and everybody can benefit without us needing to worry about what's legal, what's not,
Absolutely. Well, there is a kind of progress in that, because Virginia, where we're at, just decided that in 2024 we're going to have legal recreational marijuana, and we are the first Southern state to pass that. So that's pretty neat. Yeah, I know. Props to us. We kick ass. We're always the first to do everything. We're so fantastic. I love being a Virginian.
A Virginian.
Sounds like sarcasm.
It's not sarcasm. I love this place. You're not Southern, you're not Northern. No one accepts you. It's fantastic. The only place better would be Maryland. I mean, you're absolutely nobody's friend. So,
true statement.
Yes. So there is one more CBD that I really like, and we didn't talk about, and I got to talk about. How about Waldo?
Waldo is actually one of our most popular strains, to be honest with you. Waldo's, I want to say, been around for about a little longer than Buttercup and Fiasco. However, it's one of those strains that I was mentioning, like, we're probably not going to, remove anytime soon because of what we're hearing from clients. All our strains are really, really good, like I was saying, but some we have better luck with. Like you were saying, I think you were saying, Fiasco sells better, right? Was it Fiasco you guys have good luck with? Is that your number one selling strain?
Chucky.
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 Yeah.
Chucky, because you guys have been selling that one for a while, right?
And Monroe does really well.
Yeah, Chucky and Monroe.
Yeah. So it's really hard, to get people to switch. So we have tons of strains. We even have strains that we don't sell anymore that we just keep the plant. Like, we still have green gum. Like, we still have the genetics of green gum because, like I said, we like to cross different strains and see what we can come up with. We have some really cool CBD flower we're about to introduce here in the next 30 days. So
that's
just stay
awesome.
on the lookout for that.
I just realized we were talking about all the sativas and indica hybrids. Which ones were actually indica? Because I have
Okay.
way too much energy, and I don't know that I need sativa. It's never and everyone says I have a problem with that energy issue.
Got you. So right now, the flowers that we're carrying are Tropicana, God's Breath, Monroe, Waldo, and the Glee. I think we have a few other strains we're coming out with, but as far as those strains, Tropicana is a sativa. It's a very nice sativa. Dominant strain. Again, it is a hybrid, but it's more as a sativa than indica. So that's one we didn't mention is Tropicana. I don't know if you guys tried that strain, but it's one of my personal favorites.
Awesome. Does it have more of a citrusy flavor based on the name?
Yeah, it's like a tangy, citrusy. It's like lemon and tangy kind of mix.
Neat. We'll have to make sure we pick that up. Are any of the varieties more of an indica, a hybrid where they'd bring you down like good at bedtime?
As far as indica, if you want a straight indica, right now, as far as like couch lock, like relax, like at the end of the day, you want to unwind. I would definitely go with our God's Breath, God's Breath, as far as it's more of a sativa, but at the same time it has the indica benefits. So when I say indica benefits, it's kind of confusing when I say, oh, it's more of sativa, but it's an indica. The terpenoid profile of that is indica all day. But as far as the genetics, it's a sativa. So it's a very interesting plant. But again, it's one of those that I would definitely use at night out.
Nice. Good to know. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for talking to us about CBD. And we'll have you back on to talk about CBG and Delta 8 at later times. But thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Love sharing knowledge and the benefits of CBD.
So everybody out there listening, you're going to need some Empire Wellness CBD, and you can find that at Higher Education in Charlottesville at 619 West Main Street, or in Richmond, 2307 West Carey Street, or online at highereducationsmokeshop.com.
What if I want to call you?
The Charlottesville phone number, 434-293-PUFF, or in Richmond, 804-254-PUFF.
Puff.
Puff.